Why is this allowed at the Olympics, but not this? Now, you may have seen or heard about the insanely woke opening ceremony at the Paris Olympics. This wasn't cute or edgy, it was downright perverted. I don't care if you're gay or straight, but this dude straight up had his nuts hanging out around a small child. Now, the big controversy is the parody of the Last Supper, a direct cheap shot at the Christian religion. The Christian faith has over 2 billion believers worldwide, definitely the biggest and easiest target. Because if they had the balls, like all of these women clearly do, they would call out Islam. The Christian faith might believe in Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, marriage between a man and a woman, Sodom and Gomorrah, etc., etc. But we are not dangling gays from their feet off of buildings and dropping them onto their heads like the Islamic State. It was a disgusting and cowardly cheap shot at one of the largest and most accepting religions in the world. Now I'll do as Jesus did. I will turn the other cheek. And that means boycotting the Olympics harder than I boycotted Bud Light. So are the Olympic Games meant to be politically neutral? In the Olympic Charter's Rule 50.2, no kind of demonstration, political, religious, or racial propaganda is permitted in any Olympic sites, venues, or other areas. This is for them to ensure that the focus is on the games themselves and the athletes rather than the politics and things going on around them and their respective countries. Now, of course, this rule has been broken before by Tommy Smith and John Carlos as they raised their fists in the air in solidarity with the Black Power movement. This was by athletes, not the organizers of the event, a sanctioned $1 billion scripted opening ceremony. So why is it that this Brazilian surfer, João Chianca, was told he could not compete unless he removed the image of Christ from his surfboard? Yet this was allowed. Now, there are some transgender people participating in this year's Olympics, most notably Nikki Hiltz. Although they don't consider themselves transgender, they are non-binary. Hi, I'm Nikki and I'm transgender. That means I don't identify with the gender as assigned at birth. The word I use currently to describe my gender is non-binary. Sometimes I wake up feeling like a powerful queen. And other days I wake up feeling as if I'm just a guy being a dude. And other times I identify outside of the gender binary entirely. So what, a unicorn? I can tell you when this dude is feeling the most like a man. It's when he's sprinting by all the women on the field and qualifying for the Olympics instead of real biological women. You're gonna love this next part. I don't care if you understand or not, Hilt said. If someone says, hey, I'm Michael, but I wanna go by Mike, you don't go, why would you want to be called that? You say, okay, and you have compassion for them. It's the same thing. No, it's not the same thing. I can be Mike or Michael, doesn't mean I get to go into the women's locker room. I can be Mike or Michael, doesn't mean I get to compete on the women's teams and absolutely blow them out of the water and smash every record they've ever held. It's complicated and complex and something I'm still trying to navigate myself. And here's the left's mantra, summed up so beautifully in a single sentence. It's not about comprehension. It's about compassion. Oh my God. We don't have to understand it. We just have to accept it. You see this dude that's tucking in his penis, that's running with all these women, and he's being a man most of his life? Yeah, he's going to destroy all women in this sport worldwide. But you just have to accept it, you know, because that's his feelings. While I was filming this video, the Paris Olympic organizers actually issued an apology for the Last Supper parody. And I say that in quotes because it wasn't much of an apology, but let's watch.
Clearly, there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group.
Sacre bleu! They did not like the blue person? I'm gonna have to turn on subtitles here.
On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And
community tolerance by having drag queens reenact the Last Supper with their balls hanging out.
Looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really sorry.
Okay, so they're basically pushing it onto the viewer. Hey, you know, if you had a problem with this, we're sorry, but that's your problem. The polls we took were great, and we asked 5 gay guys, and they said, this is wonderful. This is Thomas Jolly, the opening ceremony creative director, and Thomas Jolly gets his jollies by putting half-naked men next to small children.
Subversif, ni de me moquer, ni de choquer. Ma volonté est simplement de dire que nous sommes ce grand nous et que hier soir, c'était des idées républicaines, c'était des idées d'inclusion, c'était des idées de bienveillance, de générosité, des idées de solidarité.
The only Olympics opening ceremony that I went to was here in Salt Lake City back in 2002 for the Winter Olympics. Say what you will about the Mormon religion, which is the predominant religion here. It was reported worldwide that it was incredibly inclusive here. A lot of the missionaries who had gone out to preach the gospel in different countries were able to be translators for the athletes. We had people speaking Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, Russian, whatever. But over in France, they think they're so funny and edgy, but they're really not. They've forgotten the real reason behind hosting the Olympics. It's to boost tourism. It's to boost the overall bottom line of your city. Who the hell wants to go to France now? Way to shift the focus of the games to this stupid opening ceremony, and way to get people not to come visit any more than they already do, which I don't really know many people that are, biting at the bit to go to France.
En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire.
In France, we're allowed to love who we want, how we want. You can stick a feather duster up your ass and call yourself an ostrich. That doesn't mean I want to see it on television. This isn't a pride parade. This is a demonstration and a competition between countries and their premier athletes.
Qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers.
As a conservative Christian, I think the best way to stand against this wokeness is to boycott all things associated with it. They need to learn that if you go woke, you go broke. Sponsors have already started pulling out of the Olympics. Viewership has been tanking. And at the end of the day, this is the saddest for the athletes who might have trained their whole lives for this one moment, only to have this stupid stunt take them out of the spotlight. Anyway, what do you think about the opening ceremony? Harmless inclusivity or purposely disrespectful blasphemy? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to Conservative Vibes, and I'll see you next time. Do you want to show off your American pride? Visit conservativevibes.com, where you have shirts, yard signs, and bumper stickers to show off your conservative values. It helps support the channel, helps us troll the left. conservativevibes.com.